Hi, my name's Emma and I'm a huge book nerd. Welcome to the second vlog in the reading books that I hauled 2 years ago series. I don't know if I've given this a title yet because I haven't finished editing and posting the first one. So if you're new here and you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this video first. I will link it up here. It's the first in this series of vlogs I'm doing to basically finally read the books that I have been putting off for whatever reason. So these are all books that I hauled in my very first haul videos on YouTube. I'm just going through them. I thought it would be a fun way to make some progress on my unread shelf. And it took me like, what, 6 months to film the first one, so hopefully I can get through this one a little bit quicker. Oh no. This video is called Cumulative Fall Book Haul, and it's 16 minutes long. I'll try to skip through as many books that I have read as I can so that you don't have to watch all of that.
Hi, my name's Emma and I'm a huge book nerd and I'm exhausted and a little bit sick. It's very possible that next week...
Why did I insist on playing background music in all of these videos? It's gonna drive me nuts.
First we're gonna go through the books that I have not yet read, so I don't have a ton to say about them, so we'll go through those pretty quickly. So first, at Goodwill, I found Apollo 13, and I snatched this up because this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I've never read the book that it was based on.
Still haven't read it.
That'd be really interesting. All I know about the book is that it's nonfiction. It's written by Jim Lovell and Jeffrey Kluger, and I think Jim was one of the guys on Apollo 13, like in the mission. I believe he was the pilot. I could be wrong. It's been a little while since I watched this, but this is the movie with Tom Hanks. It's super good. If you haven't watched the movie, you so should, and I'm excited to see if the book is just as good. Next.
If you still haven't watched the movie, you still should.
On the book depository, I got Emma by Jane Austen, and...
Thank God I've read that. Thank God.
Next at Goodwill, I picked up Evening News by Marley Swick, and again, I just saw...
I thought that I bought this book at the same time as The Dinner, but evidently I didn't. It holds a very similar space in my brain as The Dinner, as like a book that I really am not very interested in reading for whatever reason. I'm just like, it does not inspire me in any way. I don't know why I bought it.
And I thought it looked really cool. I'm not sure if it's a thriller or if it's just like a tragedy, but it's about a young boy who accidentally shoots his own sister, and that's literally all I know about it. I thought this sounded really interesting, and honestly, I just kind of loved this cover. It reminds me of a puzzle I used to do as a kid. I don't know, it's like so random. If you've read this and you know anything about it, let me know what it's like down in the comments because I'm really curious.
I don't know what puzzle I was talking about.
Then I have 2 more books that I found at Goodwill. The first one is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn.
Read it.
So now we're going to get into the books that I have read. So first we're going to start off with this lovely copy of The Shining by...
Alright, so it sounds like I've read all of the rest of these books. I will just double check. Confirmed. I have in fact read all of the rest of those books. So there are only 2 books from this video that I have to read, and neither of them are 500 plus pages, which is great news. So let me just grab those off my shelf. Evening News and Apollo 13 acquired. I'm gonna add them to my February TBR. And Apollo 13 is 382 pages, but it's like mass market paperback. So hopefully that'll go by kind of quickly. And then Evening News is 350 pages. So they're not tiny, but they're also not nearly as thick as trying to read Anna Karenina and The Blind Assassin. So hopefully I will get through this vlog a little bit faster. And I'll let you know when I start reading one of them. Ta-ta for now. Morning! Today is Galentine's Day, so my roomie and I are going to the Art Institute downtown. They just recently reopened. They have a Monet exhibit going on right now, and I am a huge Monet fan. I love Monet. I've got like I've got 2 Monet prints in my house, and I own 2 Monet shirts. So we're looking cute. We are going to double mask and go to the museum and enjoy some art safely, far away from other human beings. They let in like a very limited capacity of people at a time, so it's like pretty safe. So I don't know how much I am allowed to film in a museum. I'm gonna try to take you along. We shall see. I don't know the rules of this. It's been a very long time since I have vlogged in public in any way at all. Where's my concealer? Here it is. But bookish related vlog content. Today I also intend to start Apollo 13, which I'm very excited about. I was looking at my February TBR stack last night and I was like, you know, I'm kind of dreading reading evening news. I don't know why. I don't really know anything about the book. I want to judge it prematurely, but I'm just not that excited for it. But I was like, you know what I am kind of excited for is Apollo 13. This could drag on forever, and I don't really have anything else bookish to say, so I'll see you when my makeup's finished. Okay, great thing about masks is that I feel no need to cover up this bad boy or all of these things on my chin. I can let them breathe without makeup on, because this is all going to be covered anyway. The one like sad thing about that is I love wearing lipstick, but there's no point in wearing lipstick right now. I would totally put on like a cute lipstick to go with this look, but alas, alack, alay. Another positive thing about a mask though, and I'm just like, advertisements for why you should wear a mask. No, but seriously, one thing that I've discovered that's incredible about masks that I think we should keep forever is that they're amazing winter wear. Like, they keep my face significantly warm. Like, I had to go shovel out, my roommate and I shoveled out her car a couple days ago and it was like bitter cold, like single digits when we were shoveling, and like my face didn't even get cold because I was wearing a mask. So anyways, off to the museum we go. Okay, I read the prologue of Apollo 13 while I'm waiting for Devin to get ready to go, and it's really good. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting kind of like, I don't know, I was expecting something more poorly written, but so far, prologue, very invested, very excited. Can't wait to keep reading it. Clearly there's a lot happening today. A very exciting package has arrived, so I'm gonna open this too. Careful, Thomas. This is so cute. Oh my god. Look how cute. Somebody special sent me flowers. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I am about to tuck into Apollo 13. I'm about to start chapter 1. I didn't get a chance to read any more of it yesterday. We had a very fun, busy Valentine's Day, did a trivia night. It was very fun. Now I'm gonna spend the morning reading my book. I am 80 pages into Apollo 13 and I am really enjoying it. I don't know, I think the Apollo missions are so interesting, and that whole like, you know, mission to land a man on the moon and then to continue doing so afterwards. And a lot of this book so far is talking about like, started with the tragedy of Apollo 1, And then we just went through the Apollo 8 mission. And now it's kind of going back and talking about like Jim Lovell's earlier life. Also, Jim Lovell is such a romantic. When he was flying in the Apollo 8 mission, which was the first mission to orbit the moon, they were orbiting the moon on Christmas Day, and he had arranged for someone to deliver his wife a Christmas gift, and it was a mink coat, but in the note in the box said "Merry Christmas from the Man in the Moon," and I think that's just the most romantic, cutest thing ever. He also named a mountain on the moon after her. He called it Mount Marilyn. So I don't know. It's just cute. He's very romantic. Kind of a funny thing to be reading on Valentine's Day. I didn't expect, romance from this book. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really interesting. Again, if you haven't watched the movie, I would highly recommend. It's very good. Very white male centric, but still a good movie. The last time I watched it, I was like, the women really don't get a whole lot of credit in this movie, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's a good movie. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about that. But yeah, I'm having fun. I will check in when I read some more of it. Okay, so now my brain is just thinking about space, right? So I did a little bit of Googling into what's happening with NASA right now, and they're landing a new rover on Mars this week. On February 18th, the next rover, called Perseverance, is set to land on Mars. And for a little context, the last rover before that landed on Mars in 2012. So it's been a while. And the purpose of the Perseverance rover is to try to find signs that there was once life on Mars, which is kind of a big deal. So that's kind of ridiculous and serendipitous that I would be reading Apollo 13 at this time, and it would get me to look into space news. So we'll see if I am able to take a break from work during the time of the landing on Thursday to see it happen. If I'm able to, I will vlog that for you, but it all depends on work schedules, Anyways, just a little bit of exciting news, that's all. Bye, nerds. I am now about halfway through Apollo 13, and I love this book so much. I'm not really surprised because I love the movie, but I love this book so much that I have been bugging the crap out of my lovely roommate Devin. Say hi, Devin.
Hi, Devin.
And Devin, how can you tell that I love this book?
This is how I can tell, because at one point you did this and you said, okay, so this is how the moon orbiting works. So essentially, this is with Apollo 13, they programmed it. So normally when you go around the moon, it goes like this, and then it goes all the way around and you get into a loop thing. But with this one, that's not the case. They did this, and I was sitting here and you were explaining this it was like the equivalent of having a full diagram in front of you. Sure. And I was like, she hasn't even finished the book. She just knows this. And that is how I knew that you're a very big fan of this book and movie.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big nerd, and it's just so good, and I just get so invested. And I think I was telling Devin all of this, so I'm sorry that you're hearing it over again, Devin. But this is new to you. The thing that's so cool about it is it's these problems that are impossible to solve, seemingly scientifically impossible to solve. A bunch of scientists have to find a way to solve them, or 3 men are going to die in space. And so they do. And it's just the way that it happens, the way that this unfolds is so good. And I feel not a spoiler, because this actually happened in real life, and
happened a while ago.
Yeah, and also happened a long time ago. I won't give any more details, but it is just that, coming face to face with something that's impossible and then finding a way to deal with it. It's, Devin, you described it as the Titanic of space. Yeah. It's the Titanic of space, which is pretty wild.
Tension and release, baby.
Tension and release. It's so good. So that's how I'm feeling about Apollo 13. all wonderful things. I hope you enjoyed this little check-in. Thank you for joining me, Devin. I really appreciate it. A superstar. All right. I will update you when I read more. I'm almost done with Apollo 13. I just have the epilogue left, but I don't know if you can see my tears, but I have been crying. It's amazing. I want to read more space books now, so recommend me some space books, please. I have already read The Martian, love The Martian, big fan of The Martian. I think I like these, like, well, obviously this is nonfiction, which is great, but I think I also really enjoy science fiction that's like just a step ahead of where we are, you know, like landing on Mars. And it's not like science fiction, like we're traveling through multiple galaxies or whatever, or if it is, then it's really like scientifically based. I don't know. So if you know of more space books like that along those lines, let me know. And I will let you know when I finish the epilogue, because I am very close to the end of this book. That book was insanely good, and I found some old like news clips of Apollo 13 news when it was, you know, from when it actually happened on YouTube. And so I was watching those for like the last 20 minutes or something. And now I really want to watch the movie. It's so interesting to me. It's just so interesting. And I think it's so exciting this week that NASA landed the Perseverance rover on Mars. Like, there's just so much space stuff happening right now. I didn't get a chance to vlog when I was actually watching Perseverance land, because I didn't watch it till after it happened because I had to work during it. But crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff. And apparently we're supposed to get video footage from Mars on the 22nd, which is really exciting. So I don't know. Space is cool. I never in a million years ever want to go there. It scares the crap out of me, but it's really interesting. So those are my thoughts on Apollo 13 until the wrap up. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and pick up evening news tonight and get that started, because I'm just excited to keep chugging through this vlog. I'm having a good time vlogging, probably because I had so many thoughts about Apollo 13. So I hope that evening news is equally fruitful. But anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this vlog so far, and stick around because we're about to jump into book number 2. Okay, it's only been like 10 minutes since I last checked in, but I have started evening news and I just finished the first chapter. Y'all, that was sobering to read. This is gonna be dark. Not in like a thriller, horror, gothic kind of way, but in like a real life, dark, tragic kind of way. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Greetings, book nerds. An update for you. I have made some more progress in evening news. I'm now 135 pages in, and I'm really liking it. I don't want to say enjoying, because it's one of the most depressing books I've ever read, for sure. Which seems so counterintuitive looking at this cover. Like, it looks like it would be fun. It's not fun. It's devastatingly sad. So I feel like it's gonna be a little bit boring to vlog, because I don't have too much to say about it, because I'm just sad when I read it. But I did want to just read to you this really devastating little passage here. This is not a spoiler, it's in the synopsis of the book. At the beginning of the book, he and his friend, his next door neighbor, are playing with his friend's dad's gun, and the gun goes off and it kills his little sister. Yeah. So Teddy, this is in Teddy's section, and he says, Last week, he saw this documentary on the Discovery Channel about India. It showed how when people died, their bodies were laid out on rafts and set on fire and floated down the river. In the old days, wives used to throw themselves on top of their husbands' burning bodies. Teddy wasn't sure if the wives wanted to or they had to, but it didn't happen anymore. Nowadays, they weren't allowed to. He could see how maybe they'd wanted to, but he didn't think he'd be brave enough to throw himself on top of the flames like that. It seemed like a pretty awesome thing to do. And it's just so devastatingly sad because Teddy is 9 years old and it's like, oh, Teddy, Teddy. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing this evening. I hope you're having fun. I'll check back in when I've read more. Greetings. Now I am at 61 pages into evening news, and I am going to read some more of this tonight. I'm approaching the halfway point. Honestly, with this book right now, I'm kind of like, what else can happen? It seems like there's a lot of pages left, and I don't know how the author's going to use them, so I'm a little concerned about that. But in other news, we are having sheet pan nachos this evening because it is National Tortilla Chip Day, and Monday was National Margarita Day, so we are also having some little margaritas. Focus on the nachos. Look at the beautiful nachos.
So beautiful.
Beautiful margaritas. Beautiful Devin. And we're going to watch Devil Wears Prada. And it's going to be a really great night. Hello again. It is the next day, and I never updated you on how much reading I did yesterday. I got to page 216 in here. So I'm now officially over halfway done, which is great. It's just very depressing, and it only keeps getting worse. Like, bad things just continue to happen, and I really don't know where this is going to go. It just kind of feels like we're going to sit in this depressing place for a really long time. So I'm kind of getting to the point with this book where I'm like, it's kind of well written. The characters are fairly interesting, but it's so depressing and not a lot. I don't even want to say not a lot happens, because a lot happens, but it just feels very sedentary. And I don't know if it's worth reading unless you just want to be sad for 300 something pages. I don't know. I feel like my feelings about this book are a little bit complicated, but I will withhold judgment until we come to some conclusion in this book. I did also want to mention this book definitely feels dated. I'm not sure when it was written. I really ought to look that up, but there are some comments in it that feel a little bit racist, but like microaggression level. And they're definitely functioning in a world where there are no cell phones, which is interesting. It's all landline situation. I feel like it's been a long time since I've read like a contemporary fiction book that took place in a world before cell phones. So yeah, anyways, I'm rambling. I gotta look up when this was written, and I'll update you when I have read more. Well, after a bath and like 2 hours, I have finished the book. I was liking it less as I was reading the last like third of it, and then the epilogue really kind of got me again, because it like jumps forward in time and we get to see the characters a little later in their lives, and it just hit, you know. I did tear up a little bit. But yeah, I'll give you final thoughts very shortly in the wrap-up. But I did it! I read both my books. It's very exciting. So yeah, catch you in a second. Hey, thanks for sitting through the entire vlog. I know it was a little bit long, but I hope that you had fun. I think it was a little more exciting than some of my more recent vlogs, so I hope you had a good time. Final thoughts. Apollo 13, I loved it so much. I definitely ended up giving this 5 stars, and now I'm just so interested in like reading more about space. I kind of want to read, I mean, I know this is fiction, don't get me wrong, but I kind of want to read The Martian. Like, I'm just in that like mood now for space stuff, so we will see. But yeah, 5 stars, loved it. So glad that I did this vlog because of this book. And then evening news, after I have sat with this for a long time and thought about it, I don't think that it's really worth reading. If you want to read something just deeply depressing, or perhaps if maybe there's something in this book that you feel you could relate to, it might be a cathartic experience. But I think as a reader who thankfully has not lived through something like this, it was just unrelentingly devastating, and not in a little life kind of way either, like in a, I don't even know how to explain the kind of depressing, but I just don't think that it's particularly worth it. I think I'm actually going to change my rating on this to 2 stars. I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but I think I'm going to change the rating. It's just not worth it. Not worth it. So yeah, those are my final thoughts. I hope that you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, please let me know down in the comments and give it a like so that I know to keep making these vlogs. And other than that, just thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Mwah.